We haven't sponsored today, so you might have assumed that because you saw some of these t-shirts up above. Kurt was just very kind to allow us to put them out. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm going to show you two very quick presentations. The first one is a charity that my wife and I set up in 2009. She was the first director of VC relations at Microsoft back about 14 years ago. And I want to tie both of those, Shanti Life and Metacert, back to Puerto Rico. So guys, if you run the first video, that would be great.
Some things are inherently dangerous. A firefighter saves someone from a burning building. A police chases down an armed man. Riots in the streets. But who would imagine that for women and girls in India, the simple act of relieving themselves can be deadly? One night in May of 2014, two young teenage girls disappeared when they went to a field to relieve themselves. They had been gang raped and murdered, their bodies left hanging from a tree. Tragically, this is a common story for young women in Indian villages. Over 300 million females don't have the basic access to private toilets. Even more shocking, every 30 minutes a girl or woman is raped in India. So what's the connection between lack of toilets and rape? Lack of access to private toilets ranks among the top 3 causes of rape. This chart shows the more number of households without toilets, the higher the number of rapes. Clearly, a girl with a toilet at home is less likely to be raped. Being a woman in the United States, I have been granted the luxury to use the restroom without fear. When I heard this privilege wasn't universal, I wanted to do something to help. So I did some research and learned about microfinance. I found Shanti Life, a nonprofit that gives low-interest microloans, averaging around $300 to women for building toilets. Once the loan is repaid, it goes to another woman in need of a toilet, and the cycle continues. Because self-sufficiency is a valued trait in the Indian culture, loan defaults are almost non-existent, even in the poorest slums. Shanti Life identifies women applicants or families most in need of a toilet. These loans help women like Puniben, who had been disabled by polio as a child. Her husband has the use of only one arm and works as a security guard. They have 4 children. Without this loan, a toilet for them would not be possible. The microloan covered all the labor, materials to provide the family a private toilet, and a rainwater holding system that provides clean water to the household. Isn't it incredible the difference $300 makes? All women, regardless of their place in life, deserve access to a private toilet without the risk of being raped or killed. This message is connected to the Girl Scouts' values of courage, confidence, and character for every woman and child. One toilet empowers a woman to possess safety and dignity. Please join us by making a contribution to shantilife.org to fund a toilet for a woman and her family. Your money will have an immediate impact and will begin a legacy of health, safety, and dignity for women and girls half the world away.
Thank you. If you could just play the second one real quick, this one's even shorter.
In 2009, my husband Paul Walsh and I founded Shanti Life with a clear mission to alleviate poverty and promote sustainable living in impoverished Indian communities. We provide access to training, mentoring, and low-interest microloans that are impactful in 2 ways. First, they enable the construction of basic eco-sanitation toilets where waste is recycled for fertilizer to be used in crop growth. Without support, women farmers have to walk miles in the dark to be able to go to the bathroom, often at the cost of their safety. Second, the low-interest loans help the poor create income-generating livelihoods which can scale. For example, we assist rickshawallas to put a down payment on their vehicles so that they can own their own business, and we help artisans who cannot travel to cities due to high cost to sell their goods online. Once repaid, all monies are recycled into a revolving fund, which then helps fund others in the community. Your support in this partnership is crucial and much appreciated. Together we can make a difference. Together we can achieve. Namaste.
Do we have a clicker for the next presentation really quickly? The purpose of showing that was to really bring it back to Puerto Rico and some of the things that Brock said. I don't know Brock, I've never met him, so I'm not name dropping for the sake of it. Some of the things that he said resonated with me because we see a lot of people trying to offer help without trying to first understand the culture of the people that they want to help. It's very important if you want to engage in a project to help, people in Puerto Rico or any other country, anywhere in the world, you need to first of all completely understand what they're doing. The first video was the American Girl Guide Society, who sent a bunch of girls over to Gujarat, India, to take part in the build of some toilets to help really understand what it's all about. We also have numerous universities and companies around the world who send people over to India on behalf of our charity, but we first give them a very, very strict code of conduct in order to make sure that they have our people with them all the time, no matter where they go when they're interacting with people in the community, because it's very important to be respectful, because ironically, one of the most difficult things to do is to try and build trust and to help people understand your motivations and your intent and why you're actually there, because their first assumption is to not trust you. We run a microfinance institution which unfortunately has a bad reputation in the industry because there's so many profiteering from taking out loans in the industry, and it's got charity status in the US, Canada, and the UK, and it is the only international MFI in the world with charity status in India, which allows us to open up bank accounts for individuals instead of having to work with third parties, because the quality management of third parties is actually very, very difficult to manage. So we open up bank accounts, which is very, very important for every single person who takes out a loan. And then when they repay the loan, as you saw in the video, it gets recycled into a new loan. So very, very quickly on this, I'm Paul Walsh, the founder and CEO of a cybersecurity company called Metacert. I see a world where you feel safe opening a link. So everything that we do is based on helping you to be more safe in the crypto world from phishing scams. Very quickly, I was one of the first employed by AOL in Europe back in the 90s and helped to launch 56K modem protocol, AOL Instant Messenger, and a bunch of other things. I was the first person that contributed to W3C to rewrite Tim Berners-Lee's vision of the One Web, which was used for the start of the mobile web initiative. And our desire there was to bring the mobile web to developing countries. Ian Hayward, who's another guy here with the Metacert t-shirt, as one of the first 25 contributors to Mozilla, he and his team, who are now at Metacert, built all that software. So the official add-ons for Dig, Delicious, PayPal, eBay, Yahoo, Google, Microsoft, and Bugfixed and Firefox. And they're the same people that are behind our browser extension that some of you guys are here using it already. It's called Kryptonite. So very quickly, if there's only 3 things that you remember about me. 1, I'm the guy with the red shoes. 2, think before you try to help other people in developing countries and better articulate why you're trying to help them. And then the 3rd one is how to stay safe from phishing scams in the crypto world, because over 10% of all money raised by ICOs and tokens is lost through hacks and phishing. And our software is installed in hundreds and hundreds of communities. We're also protecting hundreds of thousands of people in the crypto world from phishing scams. So I'm going to have a very, very quick test for you. Hands up, those of you who can tell the difference between these 2 websites, which one is real and which one is a phishing scam. If you log in, all of your crypto assets are gone. One of these is a real phishing website. Can anybody shout out which one they think it is? Which one? Shout louder. Why? No, you can't actually tell. It's impossible. The problem here is that SSL certificates are free and are issued automatically, and so you don't need to prove anything. And unfortunately, too many of us rely on the padlock to think that it's actually trustworthy. It just means it's encrypted. I went too fast. There. 50-50 chance of getting it right. Very quickly, Kryptonite. If you buy and sell crypto, it's a free browser add-on. Please install it. It does two things. It will block phishing websites and fake social media accounts, and it will also place a green shield on the toolbar when you visit a verified crypto website or social media account. So it should be almost impossible for you to fall for a phishing scam. 0 people have fallen for a phishing scam that use this software. With that, thank you very much for your time and attention.